Nova Online, the diaper boy so many people have come to know. He's gotten himself into some shenanigans, you could say, as of late. Misleading a WWE superstar, avoiding at all costs a premium professional predator catcher, and a crossover I've yet to see anyone else cover. I just hope all my Grubbas are ready for what you're in for today. Starting things off strong, we have Nova at the smuggest I've ever seen him. He's got this crazy shit-eating grin on, and he's here to tell us that he's made a crazy connection in the business world. He's a true entrepreneur. Why don't we roll the clip for you?
All right, everyone. So, yeah. I managed to get in contact with one of my favorite pro wrestlers from 2019, and he has a little bit of a message for you regarding dacord, so give it a watch.
Hey everyone, this is pro wrestling superstar Donovan Dijak, and I want you to feast your eyes on dacord paracord. All bracelets and keychains are handmade, top of the line quality, and a portion of all sales go to mental health and environmental charities. You absolutely, positively cannot beat that. Check out dacord paracord right now. That's enough talk. Now it's time to do or die, Jack.
Take a second to really appreciate how smug he is in this. He really thought he did something crazy here. You really also gotta love how hard he makes it look to just talk. He's mumbling and swishing his words around in his mouth before they come out. He just sounds so weird here, but getting at the sneaky, backwards nature of this post, we have Nova just purchasing a cameo from some WWE superstar who has nothing to do with Nova, has no idea who he is. And here the chome is on TikTok acting like he's made some crazy connection behind the scene. He's gotten into talks with this guy and that he's got some crazy nice things to say about his paracord business. So the chome goes ahead and spends money that he should have been giving to his mom for rent or utilities in order to force this guy Donovan Dijak to endorse a predator's quote-unquote business. And we just can't have that. Here at McGrubba, we're all about exposing PDF files. So, of course, I'm going to hop on Twitter and go, Nova bought a cameo from @DijakFYE, forcing him to unknowingly endorse a predator's business. I mean, really think about how deceitful Nova's being here. We have Nova, a known, proven PDF file who's talked to people under the age of 18 inappropriately time and time again, with proof to back that up, having this WWE superstar who seems to be a very stand-up guy, shout out the Predacord business, and then Nova plays it off like they're best buds now or they're some business partner or something. I mean, even though to your average person it might be glaringly obvious it's just a cameo that Nova paid for, but even though it was bought and paid for and he clearly had no idea who Nova was, even not addressing the fact that this guy's been associated with the chome could be an awful tarnish, a black spot on this guy's reputation. I mean, who wants to be affiliated with a PDF file? Because yours truly was so on top of things right as Nova came out with this cameo. It would be under an hour between Nova posting that and Donovan finally coming out and realizing, hey, Nova's an awful guy and you know what, he can go fuck himself. Oh, and that's not all, Grubbas. He goes, I was updated on what he's done. I told him to go fuck himself, blocked him, and donated the money he sent me plus more to our rescue to help end child trafficking. If I wasn't clear, PDF files can die slow in a fire. And then here we have a screenshot of him saying, "Fuck you for being a deceitful and despicable piece of shit." It's just so amazing to see that I can spread so much awareness about the chome. I mean, that first post I made has amassed almost 500,000 impressions over on Twitter now. So many people have been introduced to the chome yet again, and even with the proper context of him being a PDF file included to boot. So you'd figure Nova having this wake-up call almost from a wrestler that he idolized from 2019 might be just what he needed to finally get his act together, get some help, stop predating on younger individuals on the internet. But no, just like always, Nova would respond to this in the most childish way possible. To me specifically, for letting Dijak know just the kind of individual this guy is. With this post, "If it weren't for you, he would have still liked me. Fuck you, Grubba. Fuck you. 100 times fuck you. And get this, Nova is so backwards in his reasoning. He thinks he's done nothing in the wrong. Me exposing him and Dijak reacting the way he did were the most awful things anyone could have done as people. He'd make a TikTok talking about revenge on those who have wronged him to a walkout song Dijak used to use. And then he also goes as far as saying Dijak needs to apologize for what he said about him on the internet. I really wish I could see the cogs chugging along inside the chome's head when he decided that this was the truth, this was the case, that the people calling me out for being PDF files need to be apologizing to me. That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, what is he even talking about? Revenge for those who have wronged me. Is he threatening Donovan Dijak's life here? Is he threatening my life for exposing him? Because I guess you could say I wronged him by letting his idol know that he was a predator. Who knows? Because I was also on that kill list Nova had not too long ago. But just like this situation, Nova can't handle anything like an adult. He goes on about life the same way a 9-year-old would, in his interests, in how good he is at video games, and of course, how he deals with problems in life, such as the whining and evading done with Gideon attempting to reach out to do an interview. Now, I'm sure a ton of you guys have seen it, but Gideon, after enough people had talked to him about it, finally went ahead and watched some videos, including the Goat Chilla's video on Nova Online, figuring out just the type of guy this Chome is. And then to dive even deeper into the lore, he'd end up interviewing the Goat Bloodspeth to get even more information on just what the Chome's been up to. So after finding everything about Nova, he started thinking, hey, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He'd reach out to Nova time and time again through TikTok, through Instagram, through Twitter, trying to get this guy's attention to get him into an interview. And what would we get out of Gabriel Gage? Radio silence. Gideon would start a stream with the intention of getting Nova Online's attention in order to interview him, and Nova would ignore the hundreds of comments he got about this. He'd ignore the live stream, even though it was fairly evident that he was watching at the time, and we'd never get to see that interview. I had his stream going in my pocket at work the whole time, waiting to screen record so I could of course make a video on it, because I make videos on the Chome, and I would get absolutely nothing. I wasted a lot of battery life on my phone, and the Chome gave me nothing for it. But realizing a huge YouTuber with 5 million subscribers had caught wind about Nova, it would send him into this deep depression apparently. He'd post a little less for a little while, and he'd make it fairly obvious that he was down in the dumps. And how else is Nova going to handle being so down in the dumps, so sad, other than live streaming to complain and whine about his life like in this live?
I hate myself because I'm a fucking piece of shit that'll never amount to anything in life. And hasn't had a job. Hasn't had a job since August of 2024. Fuck my life. I'm gonna go fuck myself.
Ignoring how sad and depressing that moping is about how he can't get a job because of the way he acts. Do you Grubbas notice that avoidance we see, where as soon as Gideon spends his hard-earned money to send this guy the roses in order to get his attention, to try to get him in on an interview, platform him, and try to let him prove himself innocent, all he does is go, fuck my life, and then end the live stream. Completely ignoring Gideon. I mean, he knows he's been trying to reach out. Nova could really prove his innocence. It seems like Gideon doesn't think Nova's a bad guy, but who knows? The Chome apparently is too scared to hop on the interview. Because it is glaringly obvious he knows what Gideon's been up to. He knows he did the Fibs interview not too long ago, which was pretty apparent in his Clash of Clans clan with him talking about it here. I don't know, it was just a crazy crossover to see such a big YouTuber, a YouTuber that I watch all the time do those predator catching videos, catch wind of Nova, and even attempt to try to do an interview with him. But speaking of crossovers, a predator I covered months ago when I was under 500 subscribers who, much like Nova, can't help but talk to those under the age of 18 on the internet. A quirky, awkward little burger, Christian Burger, had a crossover with the Chome. Now, of course, we don't want to talk about politics or anything, and neither of these people that we're about to talk about are qualified at all to speak about politics, but Christian would make a post glazing Trump or something, And we get Nova in the comments section, months after this post was made, by the way, saying, "This is a cult, clearly trying to say change my mind." It's always comical to me seeing the chome try to get political at all, because he has no understanding of the outside world and anything beyond the heap in his room. I mean, aside from the 7-Eleven he goes to buy all his drinks and snacks, but still, he has no understanding of the world outside of him, and neither does Christian Berger. Christian Berger and him both have never really held a job. I don't think Berger's ever had a job. So these are just the wrong people to be arguing politics, but Christian would clap back as soon as the chome would comment this with this video.
It's not a cult, but Republicans and Democrats, they're just political parties. That's pretty much it.
I don't know, at least in this argument, they're playing on completely level playing ground, considering they both have the same critical thinking skills. And if you're interested at all in this Christian Berger guy, I highly suggest the second video I ever made on him, or I think Saturated Content made a video on him too shortly afterwards, but the cliff notes of what this Christian Berger guy got up to and how he relates to the chome is that he was caught in a semi-sting in a situation very similar to Nova, talking to someone well under the age of 18. I mean, and he even has charges related to how he would buy alcohol for minors, and there were anecdotes of minors from his hometown saying he would use alcohol to coerce them into hanging out with him, and who knows what was going to go on after that. But still, incredibly creepy. He was well known in his area, and in fact he was posted in a predator awareness group time and time again in his own area for speaking to very young individuals very often. So even though these guys' political views are on either side of the spectrum, I'm surprised they couldn't find some common ground there with their taste in very young girls. And you know, maybe much like Berger, maybe one day we'll finally see some charges, some consequences for the chome himself. Anyways, that's all I have for you fellas for today. It's been pretty eventful recently for the chome, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it. You guys have been going crazy too. I gotta thank you. It feels like we just hit 3,000 subs, and we're already at 4, climbing our way up to 5. So thank you to all my grubbas who've subscribed recently. If you liked today's video, don't forget to like and hype it up. I'd love to hear your opinions on everything going on, especially with the WWE and the Christian Berger stuff. I find a lot of your comments hilarious, and I do read through most of them and try to respond to the ones that I can. And if you're new and you enjoyed me that much today, don't forget to subscribe too. But that's all I have for you guys. Later, Grubbas.